right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing your daily horoscope for the 13th of January 2021. Hopefully everybody's enjoying this new moon energy going on in Capricorn right now. As I'm making this video, it's still just before the new moon. All right, and we're going to talk a little bit about the new moon as well as the day that follows, right? The 13th here, because it happens right at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So right afterward, we're going to have the moon conjunct Pluto, okay, an emotional need for transformation, reminding us again that this is in the sign of Capricorn, okay? And then around 11 o'clock in the morning on the 13th, the moon's going to move into Aquarius, okay? And it's going to be stuck between Pluto and Saturn, moving into Aquarius. Okay, and of course, Saturn being the ruling planet of Capricorn. So there's still a lot of energy here. Saturn is the brick wall in the zodiac, okay? The immovable force that cannot be stopped, it's the limit. So for a moment, just taking a look at what Saturnian words are. Largest, biggest, most, fastest, quickest, stern, strict, stubborn. Anything that is, again, the maximum, we can fit the most in this room. That's big, that's bigger, that's the biggest, okay? They're fast, but this is the fastest. This is the fastest this train can go. This is the fastest this car can go. It's the absolute limit. And of course, the ancients, right, our ancestors, the sun was the center, heliocentric, okay? The sun is the center of the zodiac. This is the beginning. And to the visible eye, Saturn was the last wanderer. Planet just means wanderer in Greek. Okay, so the sun is the beginning. Sunday, the beginning of the week. Saturn day, is the end of the week. Okay, so this is the limit, the end. So in a life cycle of a human being, we start as the sun and we move our way to the end of Saturn, which is the furthest away from this glowing ball of light. There's a whole lot other there in the astrotheology world we're not going to get into right now. But Saturn is the limit, okay? And Saturn ruling Capricorn, Capricorn is the limit, okay? And it is structure, and it is government. And it's not only the government outside here, it's the government right here, okay? And Capricorns, they'll tell you, this is the Piscean energy. I've talked about this a lot, is like we are the oneness. The oneness, this is where... the black matter, dark matter. It's like, we can make a wall of human beings, and one person can be in the middle of this giant wall or igloo of human beings completely closed off, and they can still receive cell phone data. You know what I mean? Because that passes through us. That information passes through us. This is part of that oneness. But the Saturnian energy, the Capricorn energy, is you. It's you. You're responsible for you. I'm responsible for me. You can't lift the weights for me. You can't work out for me. You can't read the book for me. I can't gain the knowledge. You can't do the work for me. That Capricorn goat has to get to the top of the mountain by itself. So this is about self, our self journey in our authority. Now, we have these interesting times, and astrology is just a reflection, in a weird way. I don't know how to, I love explaining what, I read in the chart. But I don't understand the science, if you will, that this is a reflection. You know what I mean? What the planets are singing, what the planets are saying is a direct reflection of human life down here on this planet. Okay? And like we talked about in this new moon video, this new sense of government, new sense of governing ourselves. And when we have Saturn, we have Jupiter creating a square to Uranus, this is some of the challenges that every astrologer foresees moving into 2021 is a great challenge, a great divide between humanity. People sticking to traditional old roots, people wanting to break the rules into something different, okay? And Saturn being in the sign of Aquarius is saying there's new rules, this is a new game, we have to change things. Saturn square to Uranus, Uranus down in Taurus. Taurus is the tradition, is the values, traditional values, things like that. And it must be changed. Speaking of Uranus, check it out. Uranus is stationed direct today, okay? So this is the last of our outer planets finally going to be moving direct. And we're going to enjoy all the planets direct until Mercury retrogrades here in just, another week and a half or so. I don't have the exact date in front of me right now. Forgive me. But coming back, I only want to I want to talk about everything, North nodes in Gemini. So we talk about everything. As an astrologer, I'm completely unbiased. My Pluto's in Libra at 29 degrees. I see both sides of the coin. I'm born on a full moon lunar eclipse. I see both sides of the coin. There's no right or wrong, and there's absolutely zero judgment from me when I'm talking about this stuff, and I try to present the information as unbiased as possible. For a quick moment to jump back to something we talked about yesterday as far as like the chemicals go, okay? There's options. Personally, I don't use bleach. I use thieves oil, right, to clean something. And when we're talking about personal authority versus government authority, we have the option to raise the bar, remembering that these are also our tax dollars at work. And what products is the government's outside government using to keep us safe and healthy? This is a very interesting thing, okay? There's really no right or wrong here. It's just interesting, fascinating stuff. Because it's about us saying we need to raise the bar. What is my limit? The whole world could get tattooed, but there's going to be certain people that say, no, I don't want a tattoo. I'm not going to allow you to tattoo me. I don't want that. It's not for me. That's for you. This is that sort of independence thing that the Capricorn has. I have personal sovereignty and authority over my physical being, right? And while you're trying to, saying you, meaning the outside world, is trying to protect or save me by using, chemicals. Again, I'm just using this as an example. This is actually more harmful for me than it's benefiting me, right? So it's like, okay, now we must raise the bar. We must raise the bar. We have to raise the limit of what we find acceptable from the outside authority to my personal authority. Okay. Now this is where we get really interesting, because this split that's going to be happening with humanity. And again, Aquarius is the human, the humanitarian sign. So we're going to have a handful of people rushing to technology, a handful of people diving further into the technological aspects of life, and wanting, chips and robotic AI and all of this stuff. And there's this other group of people, again, no rights or wrongs, that are going to be very natural, coming back to earth, Pachamama, coming back to just natural foods, permaculture in their backyards and living off the grid in a certain sense, right? But as a collective, we must raise the bar on what we're willing to accept from an outside authority. Okay, if I do not agree with the laws that are being passed down, I have a voice. Every dollar is a vote. Okay, regardless if it's digital money or analog money, paper, physical money, there's a vote. And everything that we put our money toward is that vote, And it's, again, what are we willing to allow ourselves? What are we willing to allow? It's like, if you want to, if you want to go eat a steak, but the steak it looks like a steak. It doesn't taste like it tastes like a steak, but it's made out of sugar and a bunch of other crap that's not good for you. It's just like, okay, well, that's unacceptable for this individual. The bar must be raised as far as what's being offered. And in this particular case, when we're talking about the government that we elect, the government that we are a part of, and how this process has continued to go, we must be willing to speak up and raise the bar, because it will keep getting lowered. It's like almost any job. My poor mother, she's like, I'm making the same money I did 17 years ago, but yet inflation. It's just like, how is this, where is this? The world will just, it's just like you give them an inch, they're going to try to take a mile. So we're only going to give them a small amount, and this is a weird way of like oppression on a lot of different ways. And it's just like, what are we willing to and what are we not willing to accept? And sometimes we just have to bite our lip and take it. And sometimes we need to be the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. Sometimes we need to speak up. And when we're talking about the Aquarian energy, this is rebellion. Okay, this is rebellious energy saying, no more. I am not going to allow you to tattoo me on my face or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it may be. No, I'm not going to allow you to chip me. No, I'm not going to allow the outside, because this is what you want. But yet I am an individual, and we're going to see this. It's very interesting, because people would rather, again, lay their lives on the line as an individual in a sense of freedom and sovereignty than to go along with a lower standard of living than what they deem acceptable. So collectively, humanitarianly, again, it doesn't matter what side you're on. We're all on the same team, right? That's extremely important. And I have to give it up to you, my friends. You know, for the individuals that comment, there are different sides of the coin I see in the comments, and I'm very thankful for the group that chooses to hang out with me every day. I mean, I feel so blessed and honored to be able to sit and do this, and that I've never seen anybody bicker. I've never seen anyone in the comments go back and forth about pushing their view, about their view being right. And I hope when I sit here and talk, you know, I mean, there's not a conversation, it's just me chatting away, that it does come off as an unbiased, not opinionated, but just simply reading what's going on here and understanding this is where humanity's headed and we all have choices to make. And understanding that this is where the sovereign individuals and we are our own authority. And what is the limit that we're willing to take from an outside source pushing us or oppressing us to fit us into a box or whatever it may be? You know, because there's a point, the Uranian energy is explosive. Okay? Uranus is the wrecking ball that can't be stopped, while Saturn is the brick wall that cannot be moved. This is conflict. And we're going to continue to see this as 2021 continues, you know, and this new moon is a big one. This new moon is a very big one because now we're going to have the moon here, you know, conjunct Pluto here, or Saturn at 5. And it's okay. This is, I need structure. I need discipline. We need, you know, a body of government. We need a limit. But what is the limit? And maybe it's time to reevaluate what that limit is. Okay? And we got the Sun and Pluto both creating that septile. This is fate and destiny stepping in. Okay? Fate and destiny, this is something that's bigger than you and I, bigger than our government, bigger than the wind or the water, you know, bigger than the sequoias or the Grand Canyon. This is an unseen force that's saying, hey, this is a gift to humanity, this rebellious breakthrough that's going on right now, understanding your limit, understanding that you are, again, that power of authority. And what are you willing to do and what are you not willing to do? What are you willing to accept? What are you not willing to accept? You know? And it's like we're going to continue to move on here. And we need to start thinking outside the rectangle. You know, new ways to look at this. Can we offer, you know, something like that? Can we offer, hey, if this is our tax dollars paying for you to ammonia and bleach or whatever, not together, hopefully, but these desks or these you know, workspaces or whatever, can we switch to a natural product that doesn't cause harmful side effects? Because at the end of the day, this is for your health. Well, if it's for my health, you know, it's like a classic. This is a pill that's going to help you, you know, with your digestion, but it's going to cause cramping, bloating, headaches, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting from the mouth, your eyes might bleed, whatever, you know what I mean? And instead of offering magnesium as a stool softener or something like that, you know what I mean? There's always a natural way to go about it. And this is where we're going to have this interesting divide. It's like, well, this has worked all the time. And aspirin has worked all the time, or this has worked all the time. It's been proven to work. This is the South Node in Sagittarius. I don't care what's been proven to work in the past. I'm here now. You know, I don't care what my great-great-great-grandfather did for a headache. I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to rest. Well, you know what I mean? It's just like, and what are we willing to do right now? What are we willing to accept? And can we present ideas? We have Mercury conjunct Jupiter, still only 3 degrees off. You know, all of these are still within a conjunction of each other. Okay, so this is a serious stellium here. This is a lot of Aquarian energy. And Mars, only 3 degrees away from Uranus, is intensifying that, saying we're running toward this, and we need something to break. We need something to shift. We need something to be, you know, be illuminated, you know, because there is a safer way to do this. And when we're talking about an outside thing doing something for my personal health and safety, well, then it better really be for my personal health and safety. Because if it's not, or if there's these odd side effects, well, that's going to create a whole other problem in and of itself. Okay. And that's something that we're seeing going on with this virus right now. What are the two things that like cause our vibration? You know, I'm a sound guy, so it's like vibrationally, you know, think happy thoughts, you fly. This is Peter Pan. You know, it's silly comic, child story. You think happy thoughts and you fly. How true is this? But, you know, if you're living in fear or if you're living in guilt, these are the two things that lower your vibration the most, okay? So we're living in fear right now because we have no clue. Is this virus man-made? Is this real? Did this all come from a bat in Wuhan? I don't know. And it's not my opinion. It's not right for me to share. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The fact is that it exists, you know? So I'm kind of got stumbled up there. I'm sorry. You know, but it's like we're living in fear. We're living in guilt. You know, and it's just like we're against each other, which is the saddest part about this. It's saying you need to mask up, and this person's saying no, I need to be free. You know, and I personally see both sides, and I can't disagree with either side. And without having a proper answer from who we elect as authoritative figures, is Mickey Mousery, is childish games to me, Mother Goosery. This is, you know what I mean? This is elementary school silliness that you would see from electing your elementary school classmate as a president, not from a person of a true position of authority. Okay, so we have to seriously look at the people that we're electing. And I'm not into politics at all. I can tell you that, and it's weird for me to be talking this much about it, but this is what the astrology is reflecting, so I can't just ignore it, okay? So this is, who are we really electing as our officials? What are we really doing in putting these people in a position of power over us? It's time for something to change. And there's no question that it's going to happen. There's no question that this week there's going to be a shift. There's no question that on the 20th, when Mars conjuncts Uranus, there's going to be a shift, okay? And this is all in preparation. And the same reason I talk about crypto, I don't care. I don't care. If crypto takes off, sweet. If paper money sticks around forever, sweet. The fact is, it's a real part of our world. And it's my duty as an astrologer to talk about it, to prepare people for what's going on. Just like the astrotheology stuff and Moses destroying the golden calf. Well, we're in the age of Aquarius. You know, not that we need to destroy the man on the cross, but to illuminate, you know, that it's the age of belief. We're in the age of knowing where some of this information comes from is the key to soften the blow, so we can all be aware of who we are, all be aware of what's going on this planet, and try to move as gracefully forward as we can together as we're all trying to figure out life. You know, we don't know who we are or where we came from, and we're just all trying to figure it out together. And we can all see collectively that something in this system that we've created needs to change. Something in this system that we've created has to give. And the pendulum must swing back to the people, because the authoritative power is absolutely out of control. And the information given to us, this Neptune and Pisces kind of thing, is illusions, delusional illusions, where they're, you know, media-wise, Neptune rules media too. It's something I don't talk about a whole lot, but Neptune rules media. And Neptune and Pisces is like, it's a house of mirrors. It's a house of portals. Like, we don't know who's telling the truth or who's telling the lie. You watch this channel, this person's the bad person. You watch this channel, this person's the bad person. We watch, you know, this, and there's this negative ad campaigning where instead of just saying, this is what I'm going to do, and this is who I am, and this is what I believe in, instead it's saying, well, this guy is this, and he's a bad person. So out of default, because they're a terrible person, you should vote for me. You know, it's just like, again, this is elementary school stuff. This isn't the people that we should have given power over us to, okay? So this is a huge shift right now. I know this is a long one, but there's a lot going on, all right, my friends? There's a lot going on, and this week it's going to continue, not just here in the United States, but globally, okay? There's a lot going on in the Vatican. There's a lot going on with the church stuff right now. You know, I'm going to continue to talk about that astrotheology stuff because it's very real. It's very, very, very real, and we have this shift coming. And if we're holding on to the old tradition, because that's what we believe in, it's because of what we were taught, it's going to be harder for us, those individuals holding on to a past, holding on to a sheer belief of something, instead of accepting the almost cold hard truth for what it is. And this is the North Node in Gemini. You know, we have to be able to look at the thing that we don't want to be true as a possibility. And that's hard and it's difficult. And I feel for you and all of us on this planet that are going through that. We're having beliefs ripped out of us. We're having, you know, people that we looked up to doing despicable things on this planet. Something must change. This new moon brings a lot of that change. The moon moving into Aquarius, conjunct Saturn, conjunct, you know, it's going to conjunct Jupiter later on at night. Are we gonna? No, we don't quite get to Mercury. But either way, you know, this is like abundance. You know, continuing this so, this is abundance. More radical thinking, more out of the box thinking. And look at how closely the moon and Jupiter are square to Uranus. Balance, you know, when things are out of balance, something breaks. All right, my friends, that's our day. That's our post-new moon astrology video. Thank you again for hanging out with me. I do love you. I hope that these messages come off well received as best as they can. I love you. I wish you enough, and we'll see you tomorrow.